So one thing when we were talking about when I was thinking about it on Counter Strike. So there are many different ways of quote unquote online harassment. There is the verbal way of doing it, and there is also the I'm gonna say the nonverbal way. Someone was
Teabagging.
yes, there we go, there we go. That's exactly
Or actually, and in Splatoon, it's called squid bagging, which in
Wow.
a way you kind of appreciate it when you're
and
doing it.
aren't they little kids too that you're playing
Yeah.
as?
Well, when you push one of the buttons to turn into a squid and swim through each other's ink or through your own ink, and so a
Ew,
popular
your
thing
own
is
ink? That's disgusting. Ugh.
the what?
I said your own ink? Ugh.
Your
Ew.
own ink, yeah.
Make me
Which
sick. No,
and so after you kill somebody, the popular thing is to just push that button repeatedly, so you're just constantly turning into a squid back into a squid
Oh
kid,
wow.
squid kid, squid kid, and it makes this like kind of noise, and it just makes you way more angry than any Master Chief, tapping his butt on you.
so yeah, there are there are different ways to harass people. You know what? I noticed another one was to like people will, like someone's in a corner, people will block the person in a corner, making it so they can't get out. You know?
Yeah, I've seen those are some good YouTube
Yeah,
Oh, you do
videos.
that
yeah,
with like teammates, right?
yeah. You do with teammates, or even like I remember sometimes with either sometimes with Counter Strike or even Halo, people will throw bombs or shoot at the ground with like a rocket, and they'll kill
Hmm.
everybody in the area. So there's definitely different ways of doing online, and it is annoying. I it's and here's the difference I think, and tell me if you guys agree with this. When people tell me, oh, someone harassed me online, and they tell me, oh, they said this, they said that, and I like to look at them, and I agree with them. It's like, what the person said was wrong, but did you know there's a mute button where you can actually go up to the person's name? You can even block them and make it so you can't see. Every game now does that. I mean, I remember back in the 360, someone sent me a message saying something I just didn't like about like a game. It's like one guy was telling me how terrible I was, another guy was saying, "Oh, you hacked, and I'm gonna report you." I just blocked those people right away. I
Yeah.
never had to see them again. I never had to hear the online harassment again. I understand that online harassment is a bad thing, but you can stop it. I mean, instead of writing this huge blog about it, instead of doing like a 20-minute video, you can take 5 seconds out of your time to block that person out of your life forever.
Yeah, I think the bigger issue is that it's become maybe not the norm, but it's become like popularized. And I think like when we decided we were going to tackle this topic today, the one thing that I wanted to look at and really criticize is not just well, yeah, partly in multiplayer lobbies that like that sense that you are expected to freak out, and you're expected to swear and curse and be racist and homophobic and sexist and just ignorant in any other way.
Yeah, yeah.
But like there's an
The bros.
expectation there that yeah, I don't know what that's born out of. I guess it's just the anonymity, just like the internet in general. Like you give someone the ability to remain anonymous, and they'll just
Hmm.
go to like the worst possible avenue. But yeah, so it exists in multiplayer lobbies and it exists on YouTube too. Like a lot of the most popular YouTubers. I don't follow the YouTube community a lot, but from what I have heard, like a lot of the most lucrative YouTube channels are all people that are just freaking the hell out at their video games, aren't they? Like, isn't that what PewDiePie's like whole shtick
Well, no,
is?
I think PewDiePie, he just screams and yells at the situation that's happening.
Well, yeah, no, yeah, that's what I mean. Not necessarily
Oh,
that people, but just that like,
yeah,
Well, he's
yeah.
got the really creative, like, I think it's because English as a second language makes him, he can string together some brilliant sentences that are almost like, in my mind, in his earlier days, they were like almost poetic. Like when he's just in the moment, forgetting that I think he's gonna broadcast this to like thousands, millions of people back then. Like it's just like you caught him at his most natural, and he's yelling at this game in a way that we would want to be if we were in the same shoes, but we couldn't do it nearly as well.
well, yeah, and I guess in that case, in the YouTube case like that, when people are just commentating on their own games, there is no victim, and apparently a lot of people are into it. I'm not into it, and I, I just don't
I,
really understand it, I guess. Maybe I'm getting too old for it, but
Hmm.
it's so,
I'm
well, I
getting
mean, just in general,
too
if I'm
old.
ever searching like a YouTube, like if I need to look up gameplay videos or something, I'll always add at the end no commentary because I,
Yeah.
I can't stand any of the
Mm.
the YouTube commentary stuff. Like
Yeah.
if I'm looking, because I'll often look up a game to see if I'm interested in playing it, and but I can't deal with it when people are giving me their play-by-play in the background. So that, I guess, that whole community just isn't ever going to be a part of my life anyways. But it's just so weird to me how in the past, like really this past, since like the 360 generation and PS3 generation came about.
Well, guys, that's when it got. That's when it was just so spread out, and then it was online too. At
Yeah,
that,
that's
so
what I was gonna say. Is
yeah,
it kind of grew up alongside the rise of like internet in everyone's homes. So they kind of went hand in hand. That
I,
now people have all these anonymous personas, and
yeah.
they have a voice to express like
It's
their
yeah,
deepest
it's weird when a
darkest
10-year-old calls you a
issues.
faggot. It's just like what? You're like
Yeah,
how old are you? And
yeah.
you're saying this to me right now. I wish I knew your address. That's why I made that article on video games maybe do it, where Xbox Live was going to make it mandatory that
Oh
everybody
yeah,
showed their address because I was just basically saying that a lot of people were going to die the first year.
yeah.
But I see now. But there is what's weird is that there is a sort of it's a different language with harassing too online, and let me explain real quick on this. So I'm gonna say right off the bat, I don't think gay people are bad. I am fully supportive of gay marriage, and I
Oh,
have
this is
many
gonna
great
end
friends.
poorly.
Yes, it is. That's why I'm saying this. I'm doing one, but okay, I like to call people fags, not because hey, you like men. It's just you're being a fag. That's it is hard to explain. Actually, I think Louis C.K. actually said it best. A guy could be sitting there sucking a dick, but then he's like, man, and I would call him a fag, not because he's sucking another guy's dick. It's because he's acting like a fag. It's just that when certain words, like it's just like when me and my friends tell each other, "Ooh, I raped you." I don't mean, of course, I physically put myself on you and enforce my genitalia into you, kind of thing, or even would want that. It's just something that you would. This is something that you're hearing when you're younger, and you're not taking it as the actual word. You're kind of like how the word faggot used to mean, like a bundle of sticks. Now no longer.
But
Yeah, it actually that's what the word used to mean, was a bundle. Go get some faggots in the forest.
yeah, and do
Moreover,
you think then the reason why you use that is because it's kind of releasing a bit of stress that's built up, and like
And
that's
and I also think it's because when I was younger and playing games online, and someone would call me that, for some reason I didn't even think in my head that they're calling me gay or anything like that. It's just
mhm.
something that they would randomly say to somebody that they didn't like. So it kind of I grew onto that, and I don't say it anymore as much as I used to, because I understand the feelings now of a person when I say that word, because they might actually be gay, and when they hear that word, it's a completely different thing. It's a completely different feeling for them. That's why I stopped saying it. I'll say it towards me and my friends, maybe. I even have a friend who's gay who I say that, but he calls me a fag too. It's just kind of funny how we do that.
well, it's
And
kind of like
it's my sister too. My sister's gay, and we both walk by each other, and she goes, "What are you doing, faggot?" I go, "Nothing, faggot," and then we go along our day. But I would never say that to like a random stranger who I know is gay or anything, because I understand that for them they might be remembering that time in a bathroom when a bunch of guys call him a faggot and beat him up. And I don't want to release any wounds out of that. But I understand at the same time, though, when some people say certain things online, I know that they probably don't mean it most of the
no,
time.
yeah, they definitely
Most
don't
of the
mean it. It's
time.
all just intent
Yeah.
to upset the other person. It's kind of like for a long time, even when I was a kid, I always kind of wondered about like swears, and I guess like yeah, and that example works. Or like just in general, like when people say hey, like hey, fuck you, it's like that. I don't know. I'm just really difficult to offend. Like it's
Yeah. No,
I
yeah.
lean very left in my like socio-political ideologies, so I kind of like understand a lot of that stuff. Just for me personally, I'm just not easy to offend at all. But I understand that that's me. But like if someone online ever tells me like "fuck you," it's like I just never understood that phrase, because that's like the most popular one of all. That one's timeless, and it's
Well,
just like
to
what.
me, it's like a trophy because that means you're playing so well against them that they're resorting to having to, get
Yeah.
verbally
Yeah,
abusive
and it's
to
like
even
anything
scale.
else. Yeah,
Yeah.
like anything else, it's more of a reflection on that person.
Hmm.
Like what you were talking about, Tony. That's you and like your family or friends joking around, and that's probably okay in behind closed doors too. Because
Hmm.
like we can't just like go around like policing everybody's language when like they're talking to their friend or sister or something,
and,
you know.
and
But
they're not offended either.
yeah,
That's the other
yeah,
thing too. Is when you're like grabbing this other person, going, "It's okay, I'll save you," and they're like, "No, I'm fine. Leave me."
yeah,
Like, no, you don't know what's good for you. Shh, quiet, quiet.
yeah.
Well, I'm here to protect you, and that's where the whole white knight thing comes from, which I hate. I hate social justice warrior. I hate white knight. There are people that are like that, but nowadays, if you just stand up for anything or for anybody, even when they are hurt, it's like, don't be a white knight. It's like, no, they're actually offended by what you just said, so maybe you should not do that. Maybe you should have the respect for that. And it's a topic that's everyone wants to be either black or white, and it's a huge gray area, just like with everything in life. But everyone
Do you
wants to
get
take it one way or the other.
Do you guys think that it's possible in the next generation of games, consoles, and possibly even PC at the same time that we won't have this anonymous user base anymore? That somehow it'll be more like kind of like Facebook. Like you don't see as much harassment on Facebook just because
Ooh,
your
you haven't been on
your
Facebook a
his
lot, have you?
well, like I have, but at least then it people and I mean, if I saw my friends spouting off to someone else, and I was like, "Wow, that was really mean of them." Next time I see him at the grocery store, or something, I'm probably not going to be friendly to him. And there's that
Oh yeah, yeah. You know
implication.
what? I don't know, man.
Well,
I've
the new consoles, you can choose to have your real name like
yeah.
revealed to other people. Like once they're on your friends list, you can choose who knows your real name, who can look you up. Like you can connect it to Facebook on Xbox and PS4 and stuff.
Do you think there'll be maybe Call of Duty 16? We'll have
Which is what next year's.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have
In 2 years,
like
yeah.
they'll have game lobbies where you have to have that. Like you have to have your full
I don't
correct
think.
name
I
and
mean,
verified somehow, and that's everyone you're playing with. So then maybe then everyone will act a little bit more like they would in real life and not, you
there would
know.
have to. I think there would have to be a big cultural shift, at least in this country, because right now I think, despite like the harassment concerns, I think people value their anonymity more than they value like the responsibility of like taking responsibility for your words. You know.
Hmm.
So I don't know. I don't think there might be a like maybe some games would try it here and there. Like it could emerge as like a trend, but I don't know if it would work because you you would definitely turn away like a big number of people who definitely don't want like their private info out there
Hmm.
No, yeah, so
in
they'd be
general.
able to play in on maybe like separate servers that, will maintain the anonymous gamer tags, but then if
Whoa, that sounds a bit Hitlery,
why?
a bit fascist over here. We'll just put you in this
That
special area.
you get to choose. Like you get to have,
I'm
you can
kidding.
go to the game lobby where everyone's gonna have their
Yeah,
real name, almost like a LinkedIn of gaming. Like so, then it's more like you want people to know this is legitimately
Yeah,
you
I think
and
if
no one
anything's
else.
optional, I mean, options are always good. If people are into that, then I, we could maybe see that. But
Mm.
yeah, I don't think it would ever become the norm just because if like at the end of the day, gaming is a business, it's an industry, and doing that,
Yeah.
you would turn away a large number of people who don't want to buy into a product that has that.
What if you got incentivized to do that by earning actual in-game currency that you could spend on things that if
But
you
then you'd
remained
see it all the
anonymous, you
time.
could.
yeah.
then then it would
See,
definitely.
let's go talk to Sony or somebody and we'll. But my main concern is like being a Wii U owner is it is so frustrating to be playing these games that the only people I can communicate with are people in my friend list, and I don't know I every time I get a new Nintendo console, I go through like a week of trying to find friends online, like through Reddit communities and things like that, or just friending people through the social media on the Wii U, which is the Miiverse. And I think I've gotten like four friends in the last 2 years, and they're rarely ever on. So it's just I don't have that gaming community that a lot of people I see on PS3 and Xbox have, or PS3, 4, or Xbox 360 or one, where it's kind of like, oh, awesome, these guys are in the game. I'm gonna go join their lobby and play, and we're gonna chat and strategize, and
Yeah,
it's really
yeah.
frustrating. And so like I want a solution because they've outwardly said we don't want it because we don't like the negative harassment that goes on um, amongst anonymous people across the world when they get angry playing a game.
Yeah. I mean, and I think at the same time, like with me, I like playing online. I like meeting up with people and playing. And I think with this online harassment that we're talking about too, I think that could sway people away from playing online and actually wanting to be a part of a community and having fun. You know,
Hmm.
especially when they're called certain things for sometimes for no random reason, just for even just doing one little thing wrong, and
Hmm.
then you got somebody on the other side just screaming into your ear. And at that point, that's when, of course, like I said, I press the mute button. But some people,
Hmm.
I don't know. I think they like being verbally abused or something because they just sit there and
I,
take it. I'm
I
like,
don't. I
geez.
wouldn't mind it at all because,
Yeah,
like
see,
right
like Cole over here,
now,
Cole's over here, like taking off his shirt, getting in oil, and going, "Now, what'd you call me again?"
well, because then for me, it's almost like it spreads out my frustrations
Yeah.
among multiple levels. Because right now, when I'm playing Splatoon and things aren't going my way, I'm just super angry at either my internet connection or my teammates that I can't talk to, and so I have no idea what their thing is, or like somebody's cheap tactic that they're doing, and kind of. So I don't have a face really to these people, and so if I can hear them talking a little bit, at least then I can create little, I don't know, little mini games in my head of like, all right, I'm gonna go get that person and see what they say after that kind of thing.
Cole's an instigator over here. He goes, "Oh, I really pissed off that guy. How can I make this go even further?"
No, 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 no. When they get me, then I want to go
Oh,
get them.
okay. No,
But
I mean, yeah,
I'm
but that's fun competition though, and I like
mhm.
that. I like it when like I'll notice a guy like if I'm playing Battlefield 4 and there's a sniper and he's killing everybody, he kills me. I'm like, oh man, he's getting all of us. I need to get him because it'll help out my team so much if I can get that sniper off that hill. And so
Mhm.
yeah, like you said, but then when you're trying to get to him and he keeps killing you, yeah, you're gonna get frustrated saying certain things. But when you finally get him though, you're like, yes, all right, I got that
Well,
fucking
and are you
bastard.
are you able to, like, if you're in the vicinity of him, is he able to hear you through your
Uh,
mic in that game?
no, but you can definitely type
No.
it to him. I mean, no, you know what though?
Oh, okay.
And I have. You know what? I'm extremely friendly when I play games. You can even ask my wife
Hmm.
because sometimes when people shoot me in the head, I'll acknowledge the fact that I'll sit there and go, "Oh man, that was an awesome shot," and it was against me. Because
Well,
I'll
that's
see a
my
guy like
yeah.
jump off a hill and then he'll like shoot me randomly and he'll hit me in the head. I'm like, "Fuck, that was awesome." That was
But yeah,
lucky, but it was great. And I'll
and
even
that
say
like
like really good shot, and the guy like, "Oh," like he's like shocked by it. "Oh, thanks." Like, holy shit.
well, and like that's what I miss from my Counter-Strike days is you'd have these rivalries, but then you appreciated it because it made the game like you wanted to keep playing the next round because you've got this guy that's your virtual match. And then later on, sometimes you become friends and play games together, and you're like, what if we were on the same team? That'd be
Oh
great.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I totally agree with that too. When I did the Ubisoft's Siege beta, there was a couple of guys where we did so well together that we friended each other for the beta, and we
Mm.
continued playing. We were just a really good team. We knew how to communicate with each other, and we weren't too worried about what the other person was doing because we knew that they could handle it.
Hmm.
So that really worked out for us. So I agree with that.
Yeah, I've added a couple people here and there because I think I've said it on the show before, or maybe you guys at least know that
Yeah,
like gaming is always very solitary for me, and I don't really care about almost all multiplayer.
Mm.
Besides like I can probably count the games that I actually like to play online on my one hand, and I wouldn't even need all my fingers. But
We gotta all get on the same platform and start a Pixel Vision clan then.
yeah. No, why not?
Sorry, Mark, but continue. Sorry.
well, no, I just yeah, it's always been solitary for me, and so I've never been. I don't know. Well, like I'm trying to make two different points, I guess. I guess in terms of the harassment thing, I've never been like victimized much. Like you'll get like the swearing and like the people frustrated with you, or they'll like start targeting you like vehemently for the rest of the match because they just want vengeance and they seek
Yeah.
your blood. But so I have had that, but for the most part, I've been pretty fortunate, partly because I don't really even venture into these multiplayer lobbies a lot.
Do you play
Yeah.
Madden though, don't you?
I do play Madden, yeah, but almost never with a mic on, and
Oh,
I'm really
okay.
good at it, so there's not too many frustrations on that end, to be honest.
Okay.
I
I
think I
I
I
think
won a Madden. I've been in three Madden tournaments. I won one of them, and the others I finished
nice.
third and fourth. So I'm
These are
pretty
all
good at them.
online, or were you like at a location?
They were in person. They were
Okay,
like 32 person, like everyone. Well,
sweet.
32 because there's 32 teams, but
Hmm.
they're repeat teams because you're actually couldn't pick your team. You got like a randomized team every round, and I won the first year, but then I finished third and fourth in the subsequent year. So I actually apparently I was getting worse. But that's a different topic.
Or
But
the
in
kids
terms of
that
like,
don't have work were getting lots of playtime.
what'd you say?
Said, or the kids who don't have work were getting lots of playtime
Yeah,
over
yeah.
you.
Yeah, I was getting older and I was playing less, because now even my little brother who could never beat me for years and years, now we're probably like 50-50 whenever we play now. Like I'll win about
Mm.
half of them and he will too, and it frustrates me to no end. But but no, when you guys were talking about like making friends online, I've done that too. Because part of why I don't play a lot of multiplayer is that I don't really typically like talking to strangers too much.
Mm.
Especially if it's like just you, like if it's like two-player co-op. I'm like way too shy to ever really talk to that other person, probably. I am like if there's a team and there's several people and I can like chime in when I want, then it's fine. But if it's like two-player co-op with some person that I've never played with before, I really don't want it to be a part of it. That's why like a lot of the multiplayer games I do play are just the ones that my brother and I play together.
Oh, Mark's shy.
But no, but I was gonna
Are you
like it.
blushing and like putting your shoulders up in the air and just like I don't know what to say.
Yeah, so there's
I
no
don't know
humor
what to
for the
say. I don't know
audio.
what to say to Fag Poner 11.
But no, I have there's this one person on my friends list. I assume he's a guy because his name's Drew, but it's Dru, so it's not even really like a name necessarily.
Mhm.
But I think his Xbox avatar is presents male, I should say. But we it was there's some two-player co-op components to Sniper Elite V2, which is a last gen title. It was really fun. Like just it's like a third-person shooter, but you're like a sniper, so it accounts for like bullet drop and wind, and it tries to like get real technical with it. It was really fun, and for some reason, I just felt like getting every achievement on it, and that was nearly attainable for me. So I went on the two-player co-op, and without a mic, me and this other dude just like played like for probably like 3 or 4 hours until we both unlocked the last few achievements. Like it was cool because it was like unspoken. Like I knew I was trying to finish off the list. It seemed like he was too. And I think one of us finished the list first, but we stuck around until the other person finished it as well. But we never even talked to each other. It was so funny. Like he's on my friends list now, and like I'll text message him via Xbox once in a while, and we'll talk that way. But I've never heard his voice. He seems cool. I actually get jealous because every time a new game comes out, he's playing it on release day. Like I guarantee you, next week he'll be playing Fallout and Tomb Raider, and like every time, without exception, whenever there's a big new AAA game out, he's always playing it on release day. So we have like an amicable relationship, even though I've never even heard that dude's voice. And you guys' stories just reminded me of that. I just wanted to share
That kind of
that.
reminds me of the Ron Swanson where he talked about his best friend. I don't know. Do you guys know who Ron Swanson is?
I do, but I haven't seen the whole show. I don't know
Yeah.
if I've seen that
Well, he's
part. My
he's on
girlfriend was it.
for anybody who doesn't know, he's on Parks and Rec. He's a very he's like a man's man kind of person.
Yeah, he's like
He
he
eats all the bacon.
Yeah.
chops down trees. Yeah, eggs and bacon.
Yeah, and he doesn't like having to talk to people unless he has to. And he goes, one of my best friends in the world was this guy that they basically never said anything to each other, like ever. He goes, I didn't even know his name. He goes, sometimes I like to reminisce about our times of not talking to each other, and, and
Oh yeah,
that's what kind of reminded me of that relationship you guys had. That even though you guys didn't really talk or do anything, you still had this weird bond, and
yeah.
that's interesting
So
to
yeah,
have that.
because I think that kind of relates back to the main like gamer rage topic too, is that it basically just depends on like the disposition a person has. If someone's like looking for an avenue to just spout out like ignorant stuff, then an anonymous platform like Xbox Live or like Twitter
Mhm.
gives them that opportunity, and that's what they're gonna do. But
Yeah.
those people are 100% of the time only ever revealing that about themselves. It's never it's never an indictment on the person they're targeting. It's always just it's
That's a
them
good point.
revealing their dickweedishness, to put it
Mhm.
in one way.
Like I said, I've never been affected by the online harassment like you, Mark. But actually, there is like one section. I kind of mentioned it a little bit too. And it's not so much the teabagging thing, the physical part. Instead of the voice, I'm going towards physical harassment now. I never care when someone teabagged me. Sometimes I would do it to other people just because it is kind of funny. But one thing I've always hated is when somebody takes it out of their time to start killing teammates on purpose. I really really hate that because because for me it takes away the competition of the game. When someone's harassing me online, that's not taking the game away from me. Like I said, I can mute it even when they're just yelling at me at the game. It doesn't take anything away from me. But when you're actually like, if I'm sitting there trying to do something and you come up behind me as a teammate and shoot me in the back of the head or blow me up or just stop me from doing something because you think it's funny, that's where my rage actually comes in. I admit that I get too overly raged over it because I'm like, fuck, I could have won, but you decided to take that away from me, or you decided to take away from our team because you just felt like being an asshole for the day.
Well, don't a lot of multiplayer shooters have friendly fire off by default, right? But I think maybe Counter-Strike doesn't. Is that what you're talking?
There are. I know. I actually. I think with Counter Strike. No, Counter Strike. I think it is friendly fire. I think I
It,
haven't
it
played
was
for.
it was based on server. Like you could
Yeah,
it could be on or
and
off.
it's actually like that with most games now too. But the thing is, I like playing on hardcore mode. I
Oh
like
yeah, so then
I like
there
that
is.
feeling where I don't know where the enemy is. I can't. I don't have a map. It's just me and my gun, and I think it's a little more rewarding too when you just spot that person randomly and you shoot them and you got them. Yes, and I also hate the fact, and this is for the hardcore thing. I hate when I shoot you 3 times in the face and you turn around and knife my ankle and you fucking kill me. That to
Sounds
me,
like you should stop playing that three-letter acronym game.
well, I mean that's just with any of them. I actually know with Battlefield 4, what I really like.
Battlefield, yeah, you get to like reverse it. That's
Yeah, you
so
can not only, yeah,
uh,
you could reverse it where you can stop their knife and stab them. But what I also like the fact is that when you come up behind the person, like you're actually grabbing them and you're forcing your knife into their chest.
yeah.
I like that. Yeah, the Call of Duty one. Yeah, I've always hated that where I'm like,
You might need
shoot
to
me.
speak to a counselor, Tony.
And then I found out it was the counselor who did that, and I start strangling him. You son of a bitch. No,
Yeah,
it's
at some
just
point in the show, we're gonna find out Tony is the asshole that we're talking about on this show.
yeah. But I mean, like I said, I think there are different forms of online harassment. There is the vocal point of it, and then there's the other where you're actually harassing them, doing things that normally you would just never do. I mean, if I'm walking by and I walk into somebody's line of fire, they'll say sorry. I go, no, that's my fault. I knew you were shooting, and I still decided to walk across your path. So no, it's not your fault. It's my fault, if anything.
I mean, like you probably can relate to this, Tony, because like Counter Strike, I haven't played it recently. Like CS:GO, I haven't played a whole lot of, but what I loved about it was back in the day, if a server had friendly fire and you like, they usually have a limit where if you killed 3 players,
Mm-hmm.
you were just
Yeah,
kicked from the server. You were gone. And sometimes if you did it too much, then you were banned. But then there were even servers that were so customized that like you'd kill somebody, and then like that situation you just explained, then the person who died gets to choose whether to punish you or not. But if they know it was like you accidentally got shot by your teammate because it was your fault, then you could say no,
yeah,
and
yeah.
and they
Battlefield
would be
does that.
like, yeah, oh, Battlefield, sweet,
Yeah,
on PC, right?
yeah, on PC. Oh, I don't know about the other I don't know about the consoles, but on PC you can forgive them or punish them. And so,
Yeah,
and like
that's.
usually, sometimes people say, "Oh, I'm sorry, like I didn't see you there, I didn't know." Because one thing I hate with certain games is sometimes the names won't pop up right away. So I'll
Mhm.
shoot somebody real quick, and then I realize, oh shit, he was on my team. So I bust out this 2 paragraph apology, telling him how sorry I was and how I'll avenge him and go back to America and take care of his kids and all this stuff. And then they just say, "What? I already forgave you." I'm like, "Oh, okay. Well, never mind."
Well, going back to you, say like Mark, you and your brother playing, sports game in the same room as each other. You guys never experienced gamer rage between each other?
No, he when he plays Madden, he like it's frustrating because now I live on the other side of the country, so we can only
Hmm.
play online now. But like if I'm in a if like like a party chat with him and his friends or whatever, because he's when he's online, he's always in a party with them. So if I'm gonna talk to him, I've got to most of the time like filter through like all of his loud friends. But
Okay.
uh, like if he's playing me in Madden,
Hmm.
I'm so calm all the time that it frustrates him, but only in like a comical way. Like that doesn't incite his rage. But he'll often comment on. He's like, he'll like intercept me or something, and I won't even react like vocally over the mic. And he's like, "Dude, you're not mad about that?" I'm like, "Whatever, man." Because like I said, I'm really hard to offend. I'm also really hard to upset. So like, he thinks it's hilarious how I don't really respond that way. But if he's
Mm-hmm.
playing one of his friends and I'm in the party, the two of them going back and forth are just absurd. That
Mm-hmm.
like every play, if it went well for them, they'll cheer and freak out positively. If it went poorly for them, it's the opposite, of course. And it's like I have to tell them like, dude, like I don't need play by play. Come on, like maybe that's when my gamer rage comes through is when someone's telling me what's happening on every single play. And it's not even really telling me; they're just like yelling about it, either positively or negatively.
Trying to yeah, but like that's I've had some of the worst like friendship arguments through games, kind of because like somebody doing something like that because they know it's gonna get on your nerves, and they're just like, I'm gonna keep doing it. It has nothing to do with the game or playing, but it's gonna
Yeah,
make
I
Cole
just
so angry that
that reminds me. There was one time we were on a family vacation and two of my brothers were facing each other in UFC like 2009. Like I think it was like the first, well, not the literally the first one, but it was like one of the first ones that THQ did years and years ago. And my brother, I guess I don't need to say their names, but my brother, whom I was just speaking of, he was Anderson Silva, who is like known for like his like
the
devastating
spider.
kicks. Yeah. Oh yeah, you seem to be into a lot of like
Yeah, like the
stuff.
UFC. Yeah,
Yeah, and I forget who my other brother was, but they're almost the same age. So like, they should have been evenly matched, but my brother who plays games a lot more was he was beating on my other brother so badly. But I don't know if you guys have ever played it, but you can get if you like get to your opponent to a certain like physical state, there like the screen like gets grayed out, and basically that's the time for you to like close in on them and like finish them off.
mm.
And it was funny because he kept like giving him these like kicks to the face with like his flat foot, like almost like it in a cartoon, like he would have like a footprint on his face.
Oh yeah, it's called a teep.
A
It's
teep.
a Muay Thai teep front kick.
Yeah,
Kind of hit him with the bottom of your foot or your toe and the chin.
yeah. But he was delivering that over and over again, and my other brother was repeatedly like falling into that gray, like groggy state where like he should have been finishing him off and winning the match, but he never would. So he'd kick him, and like over and over again, he would get up, and at one point he's yelling, eat feet," and like there's an entire audience of family members cracking up, and I guess in that moment it was almost sort of hazing because my other brother was just like super mad about it. But I mean, he didn't break any controllers or anything. But that's one instance of gamer rage that I always remember, and we always still call back
Hmm.
to it with E and
Well, that's it. Like me, my parents almost wouldn't let me and my brother play games together because we'd play um, Super Nintendo games, and then I think we went on to like NCAA on the PlayStation 2 eventually. But I don't think we ever made it through a full game because one of us would get like a really long run, and then the other person would throw the controller and turn the system off. And my parents would get mad at us for yelling or breaking something or almost breaking it.
Oh, I'm already doing that with my kids. My kids will be playing a game together, and they'll be playing Minecraft even and
Uh-huh.
together, and then the one will be arguing how the other one's doing something he doesn't like, or he wants my youngest or my middle child will ask his older brother to do something. He's like, I don't want to do it, so I have to break him up and say, hey, don't continue this, or else no more Minecraft for a week or something like that. Of course, I'm lying, but they don't know that. I'm not
But
gonna
yeah,
take.
I guess that's the point I wanted to make too. Is all these people responding with like screaming and harassment? It's all learned behavior, and like like with me now with my 3-year-old son, like we're playing Rocket League, and occasionally he's really into like Hot Wheels and any sort
I
of
need to get
cars.
that. I need to get that game. All I hear is positive things, and I hear kids love it too, especially.
It's
If you get the pre-order the Steam controller, which comes out, I think you can get it in your hands late November. If you haven't pre-ordered now, you get Rocket League for free.
Ooh.
oh
Well, I saw the Steam controller, and it looks like something that was made by an alien race. So I'm
Yeah,
not. I'm not.
Valve. It was Valve.
Yeah, it was. You're right. I'm not 100% sure on that one yet, but that game looks like a lot of fun, and is something I know that both my sons can play and have a great time with it too, because it isn't violent and shows boobies and all that, you know.
Yeah, it's just a sports game, but it's like an imaginary sport, and it's like a sport that you wish existed because it's so freaking
You
fun.
wish it existed. Cars hitting a giant soccer ball.
And
Yeah,
they make
but
the best like GIF replays too, or
That's
GIF
cool.
replays.
I'm definitely gonna look into that one.
So what were you gonna say, Mark?
Oh, that
That's right, Mark was talking. My bad.
No, we both did. Don't get mad at us, Mark.
Yeah, he's already gamer raging right now.
no, it's fine. My girlfriend just came in to steal one of her Edgar Allan Poe books, so I was hoping that she would.
Hello.
Edgar Allan Poe, what a hipster! Get that hipster shit out of here.
Oh man, but no, what I was gonna say is that like he hasn't been exposed to too many games right now. Mostly just racing games and Rocket League, because he's really into cars, and he, like I said, he's starting to get into like the idea of competition and scorekeeping and things like that. But it's all learned behavior, and he doesn't see me freak out that way, So he's not going to know, like that won't be a part of his life when he does start gaming initially, and then eventually when he's online, if I don't use like the parental control options, because you can make it so he can't even hear people if they're not on his friends list, and you can make it so he can't add anybody on his friends list unless you approve it, and so there's a bunch of steps to take to ensure that he's not either victimized or maybe even becoming the bully. But I just think if people set a good example, especially when you have like kids or younger siblings, then those bullies and those idiots online won't resort to that behavior, because they won't exist. I mean, they'll always exist, but it won't have to be your kid doing it, or your little brother or your nephew or whatever it might be. Like, I know, like, as he's starting to get into gaming, that he could end up that way if he saw me doing it, but I never do that. I mean, like I said, I'm hardly ever online anyways, and when I am, it's always a good time because we're just doing heists in GTA or something. But yeah, I don't know. Like anything else, almost 100% of the world is learned behavior. So little of who we are as people is actually like innate within us. Everything else is just monkey see, monkey do. So
I'm glad you brought that up. I wish I would have remembered it at the beginning of it. I remember they're doing this study on children and how they learn certain things. One of the things that they were talking, I wish I would have remembered the magazine I was reading, damn it, so I could actually reference it in here, so it could be actually valid. But anyways,
it was Teen Pop.
Yeah,
wasn't that Teen Pop?
Yes, that's Teen Pop, or People's Choice or whatever. But one of the things they were saying was that when you see your children, you notice that they don't get scared at certain things. Or think things are funny. In fact, when something happens, they look at you. They want to see what your reaction is to it. So when they're watching something that's scary, they don't get scared by it, but they look at you and they see, oh, fuck, my mom's scared? Holy shit, if my mom's scared, that means I should be scared.
Yeah.
My mom's my hero and blah, blah, blah and all this stuff. So I think you're 100% right, Mark. When our kids look at us and when they see us play certain games or just with anything, being offended or scared or what we think is funny, they look to us on that. I remember,
you just have to set the example.
Yeah, exactly. I remember one thing.
He'll never see me smash a controller, and
yeah, definitely. I mean, 'cause
presumably he never will
like
either.
$50 right there. I mean, I'd rather throw my kid than throw my controller at that point. So.
Okay.
Just kidding. But that's a good way to end our discussion on online harassment. Jeez, I'm gonna have a stuffy nose, so I'm like trying to breathe and talk at the same time. But
fuck your stuffy nose.
I know, seriously. I wish I could tell it to go fuck itself.
Now we just start harassing you and your nose.
Yeah.
Hey, Sniffles.
Anita, come and save me from my stuff.